So with post-impressionists being very heavily influenced by Impressionism, there's still that idea of brushwork and all that very important things that they were doing with color and lighting and all that stuff, which has been building up for the last few centuries through all the other movements within art. Now with this being the way it is, post-impressionism felt like that impressionists were throwing out too much. So with that being said, they were more focused on trying to still give form and color, and depending on which school thought within post-impressionism, some wanted to do more of their emotions, expressing their emotions through their painting, and others were more focused on form. Where I fall more on the formalism side, where I'm really interested in the structure and the shape and how these things interact with each other. So that's why this painting works so well within post-impressionist ideals. The other thing I also don't like to hide is the fact that it is still paint. Paint and the way the brush interacts with the canvas is really important. But the other great thing within post-impressionist stylization is the way that you can view it at two different angles and get two different distances and get two different ways of seeing it. If you look at a good post-impressionist painting from the right distance, it comes together, all those little planes and brush strokes come together and form one solid feeling image. Whereas when you get close enough to it and more intimate with it, you can see the artist's hand is very evident throughout this entire work, which is in fact the reason why this style intrigues me so much, is because where you stand is very important to the work. You've got to be able to have the willingness to spend the time with the work to see it in those two lights, to understand what the artist is trying to communicate through the form and the color and the palette. Now the palettes are still very strong within post-impressionism because of the artificial paints. And that's very easily to be pulled off in modern day, because most of the paints we have are artificial. Oil paint is still very strongly used within post-impressionism, and that's what I've chosen to do here as well. And then finally, it's the color being very evident and a strong palette with the blues and all that other fun stuff. So that's where that lies.